Hello everybody. All right. Oh, I just noticed I lost part of my, oh no I didn't. Good. Okay, got to do the hair thing, right? All right. So how's everybody doing? We're floating here today. It's like crazy. I just said to a customer that if you come in the store today, you should get some kind of kudos for showing up because of the rain. I mean, holy mackerel. Oh, yesterday when I took my dog to doggy daycare, it was raining so hard that my umbrella blew inside out. I was almost thrown off my feet because the wind was blowing so hard. I had to go in and out of my car twice to take, I forgot to take her little, she has a snack because she otherwise throws up because she runs too much. And by the time I got back in my car, my hair was like plastered to my head. My entire body was soaked and I'm like, okay, I need a do-over today. It's just, a typical day for me. Hey Pam, how you doing? Hi Heidi and Jean. Thanks for joining everybody. Firstly, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody. I hope I don't cry. I've already just been crying. It's been tough for me lately. I knew I'd cry. I just want to say thank you to everybody that chimed in last week with all your love and support. Yeah, it's been a really hard thing for me to go through, and I really appreciate. I need to take a drink. That'll stop some of this. Okay. I really appreciate all the kind words. I had people come in and giving me hugs and giving me words of encouragement and things, and it was really, really nice. And I love all of you for it, and I thank you very much for all your support. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. I'm a tough cookie. I always get through everything. This one was just really, really particularly hard. It hurt my heart a lot. So, that's the way it goes, right? So, again, thank you so much. Now I can't see a damn thing because I've got tears in my eyes. That's not so good. But you know what I can laugh at? Look at this. Can you see the color matching there? I've got red and green. My husband is colorblind, and so he took the opposite water bottles today because he can't tell that these are different colors. So I get like this weird looking thing with two completely different companies and two weird colors. So that makes me laugh. He's so goofy. I'm like, you can't tell that those are different colors? Nope. Oh, thanks for coming today, Tammy and Deb. All right. Well, I'm glad you girls could make it today. It felt strange not doing one last week. So what else was I think we got lots of people. I'll just get started on this today. So I was trying to, sorry, tears. Between having to, talk, and then I just read something very heartwarming on Facebook about a local community thing that was just very touching. Somebody just coming to the rescue of someone else and that they didn't even know. And I was like, wow, there are a lot of good people in the world. And I like that. So anyway, so today we're going to take these new wrap bracelets that I got. They're the triple wrap leather bracelets, and they're about, I think I said they were about 5. No, they're a little bit, they're about 8 millimeters wide. The leather's about 8 millimeters wide. They don't fit my wrist. I have an 8-inch wrist, but if you have a normal, 7.5 and smaller, it'll fit. So we have them in this nice, I'm going to use this dark chocolate brown today. And the dark chocolate has the antique brass clasp, and then the black, there's a black one, and I think we have a couple less of those, but we still have a fair amount of them. That has a silver one. So I'm going to show you how to do a couple different things with this today, and we'll see how it turns out. Goodness gracious. I'm going to have all my makeup on my face, but I guess that's where it's supposed to be, right? So, all right, so I'm going to try and lower you down because we're going to bust out some paints and a few different things here. So let's see how this goes. I hope I can still read the comments okay. There we go. I don't know if I can read the comments. Can you guys see okay there? Again, I couldn't remember how I had my setup. And when I went to do this, I was like, oh, it's just not looking the same way. So I think that'll be okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to use is this Patina paint because I love that stuff so much. I should have shaken this up a little bit beforehand. You want to shake this up. You can hear it's got like a little ball bearing or something in there, a little plastic thing. You do want to shake that up to get it mixed up nicely. We have quite a few different colors of these available in the store, and there's a brand new one, I should have hauled it out, a turquoise one that is just fabulous. So they're all on our website, and they're actually fairly affordable, and these last forever. So you only use a little tiny bit, and we're going to use a dry brush technique today. So I'm just using, I've got like a dollar store brush that I bought, so it doesn't even have to be anything fancy. And we're going to do a couple different things today, and let's hope this works. So I'm going to I've just got like a little piece of plastic that I'm going to put some of this on. And I don't want to use very much because I'm going to do a dry brush technique. So I'll just, okay, is that going to, I think I have to poke the end of it. Let's hope that I can get that in there. I want to get it all up. Oh, there we go. I want to get it on my new top. Okay. So we'll just put a little bit on there. And if we need more, we can put more on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some on my brush. Just a little bit. I'm going to kind of get it in there, and then I'm going to remove some. So I've got some paper here, some paper towel. I know it seems kind of weird to put it on and take it off, but I just want to lightly go over top of this leather. I'm just going to add a little bit of color, just to, do something a little different. And it doesn't have to look like anything particular. Now, if you don't like that, if you don't, like how much, you can rub some of it off with your finger. You can use a sanding block. I just wanted to take a little bit and add a little bit of color to this. So I'm going to take a little bit more off of there. So really kind of work it in. And you can use a real nice light hand, or you can go, like you can go cross hatching back and forth. I think that's what I'm going to do to kind of give a little bit of visual interest. Do a little cross hatch look. You just don't want to have very much paint on your brush at all, or it just will look silly. And this just adds a little, I don't know if you can see that, it just adds a little bit of, a little extra something. Always looking for another trick. So, let's see. Oops, I'm getting brush pieces. These are really crappy brushes. I purposely buy, junky brushes, because then I don't care if anything happens to them. But then they fall apart on you. You can see I'm just kind of lightly going over. And this looks probably looks a little more white to you, but on my end it does have a nice sort of aqua kind of turquoisey look, and it's just subtle. So that way, if you don't like the color of your leather, you can change it. Now, this patina paint, these vintage patina paints, you can use them on anything. I need more, a little bit more. I've used them on metal and plastic and wood and leather and just about everything. So don't be afraid to experiment and play a little bit. And part of the thing with this is just, it doesn't have to look any way. There's no right, there's no wrong. Just monkey around. I've honestly never really done too much of this. I just like to play once in a while. So you can go as heavy. You see that? Just adds a little bit. Hey, Cindy. Yeah, you missed at the beginning. Everything's okay. It's just, it's just a very tough thing to go through. But I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. It's just it's hard being so dang sad. Every little thing has sort of triggered me. This morning I was watching. Before I came to work, I had a little bit of time, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to watch This Is Us, and that was not a good thing to watch this morning, because that, the floodgates opened. So that's not so good. But, yeah, it does kind of give it a little bit of a weathered look. Now, depending on the color that you use, I should take a little more of that off. Yeah, see, sometimes I just start painting and then I forget. But I like that sort of look. Gives it kind of a bit of a rustic kind of thing, and I'm just going to go back and kind of make sure I've got it where I want it. It's heavier in some spots than others, but that's it. Now, make sure, I don't have any water right here, but make sure after you've finished that you clean your brush, because that will get really hard on there and you'll wreck your brush. Even if they are dollar store brushes, we don't want to, have to throw them out, right? Oh, I just got it on my table. Oh, I guess my nice little table's going to have a little spotch blue there. Well, it is a work table, so whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna see what we can create. So we have a whole big bag of these paints, and they're really fabulous colors, and they're such great quality. So just gonna see what's going on here. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I do appreciate everybody, you know, chiming in and saying such nice things. It was lovely, very lovely. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have these fun little. I picked the absolute worst one. Let me go grab another one. Hang on 2 seconds. I have this. It's just right next to me here. I just have to unhook. I'll be 2 seconds. Okay, so I picked one that actually was a little bent, but I have these fun little, they're just like little tags, and that's backwards for you, I think, right? Yeah, but it says, when there's a will, there's a way. And they come in copper, antique copper, antique brass, and antique silver. And they're only $1. I think they're kind of cute. So I'm going to try and, I'm going to sew this on here this time instead of riveting it. I thought, let's do something different. So now I did have to kind of pre-measure on somebody's wrist to see where I would do this, because I have a larger wrist. So for me, I can't kind of put it on and figure it out. So what I sort of figured was from the end of my clasp to my first, like where I would put this little piece, is about 10 inches. So we'll try that and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, then at least it's mine. So you can see that's going to just go on there quite nicely. So the first thing I have to do is make a mark where I want my first hole to be punched. Now this one already has a bit of a bend in it. If you have something and you want to do something like this and it doesn't have a bend, I suggest putting that in before you start, because you do want to put a bit of a bend on it. Otherwise it ends up looking kind of flat on your wrist. So it just makes this a little bit more difficult to work with because it's already got a bend, but you know, we'll just kind of go with it. I'm going to remeasure that because now I lost my place. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect, but so this is very scientific where I'm going to do this. I'm going to just take a pair of round nose pliers or something. I was looking for my awl and I couldn't find it, and I'm just going to mark right in the middle there where I'm going to make my first punch. So I have a leather punch. This is my old one that I've had for years, but we have a really nice one from Bead Smith that works really well if you're looking for a punch, and they're not super expensive. So I'm just going to make a little hole there. And it's always frightening to make those first holes, right? Because what if it doesn't work? Well, there's always a way to cover things up. You can rivet things in, or you can, you know, cover them up with, oh, I forgot to bring scissors. Well, I guess we get to use my cutters. Okay, so now I've got a hole there. Now, if you wanted to rivet, you could just put a rivet right in there, but I'm going to sew this on. So I want to make a little mark on the other side, but I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do my other hole down here. I think that might be the best idea, is to get this one figured out. All right, so just make a little mark so that you know where you're. So I always find it easier to mark something than to just start going like crazy and make a hole where you don't want it. And you can't use Sharpie on this because you're not going to see it. So normally that punches right through, but it's leaving a little bit of extra stuff there. So I've got my two holes there. I don't know if there you can see them. Okay. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, it's a good rainy day project because it's bloody rainy out there, isn't it? It's just horrible. Okay, so now I'm going to just line this up on the one end, and I'm going to sort of decide where I want to put my next hole, and I think I'm going to do it about there. And I don't really have any reason why. I'm just kind of making this up as I'm going along. And then my next one I think I'll do about there. Okay. Michelle, that's on right now, she is a lampwork artist and she does phenomenal stuff. It's really colorful and lovely, and her business name is it Caliente, or is it just Caliente Art Glass, or what is it, Michelle? If you're into beautiful lamp work, you can have a look at her stuff on, I think she's on Facebook. I think she's got her stuff on there. But she does some fun skulls too, which if you're a skull person, kind of cool. Okay, so you're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing here when I've got Caliente Art Bling Wearable Glass Art. Well, there you go. That's a big long name, Michelle. Yeah, I think California does need this, don't they? All right, so I've got a total of 4 there, okay? So what I'm going to do is I took a little bit of waxed Irish linen, and I don't know, I just took some. I don't know how much this is. So let's say that's probably 2 feet. I don't know how much I needed, so I just kind of grabbed some. And I'm just going to cut that in half. And I'm going to sort of string this on. I thought maybe I would, you know, just kind of try some funky little strung on kind of thing and see what we ended up with, because not everybody knows how to rivet or wants to rivet, so I thought we could, you know, do a little bit of almost like a sewing technique. So I'm going to put that down on one side, and then on the other, just put it through the holes. I'll kind of match that up there, try and get it sort of even. And then, so you can see now, I don't know if you can tell, you see how it's going through there? And I'm just going to literally stitch it through. So I don't know how this is going to work, if it's going to, it might have been easier to have a needle. That probably wouldn't have been an easier thing, wouldn't it, Kelly? Yes, that would have been much easier. But I like to make things hard. I'm going to just, so I think if you just pull your Irish wax linen to the side, it still goes through okay. So we'll see how long I can keep getting this through, because I wanted to put it through, you know, 3 or 4 times if I could, because I not only want to stitch it on there tightly, but I want to, yeah, that's still going to match up. Okay, good. I want to have a little, you know, a little bit of a decorative kind of thing happening. I feel like I'm tripping over my tongue today. I guess that's what happens when you get emotional. I should never go on Facebook right before I do this thing, because I was watching, Trudeau just did our Prime Minister here, if you're from the United States, he just did a tribute to Gord Downey from the Tragically Hip. He passed away this morning, and I guess they were buddies. And it was quite a lovely tribute, and he was actually quite upset and very choked up, and it was hard to see somebody so upset. You know, when men cry, it makes me cry. So it was quite touching to see someone be able to be so eloquent when they're speaking about someone that they've just lost, and who all of Canada has lost, because there's most Canadians are you know, very much into the Tragically Hip. So I personally, they weren't my thing, but I appreciated their music. Everybody knows a Tragically Hip song, so. All right, so I've gone through about 4 times there. Now I'm not sure how I'm going to finish that off, so I'm just going to put those ones off to the side, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other end, because I was trying to decide if I wanted to, if I was going to, I've got some little seed beads and stuff. I wasn't sure if I was going to just tie them off, or if I was going to tie it off on top with some seed beads. So we'll, you know, play a little bit. But I'm liking how this looks. By adding a little bit of the Irish wax linen, it's giving it a little bit more of a substantial look there. I like the Irish wax linen because it's got the wax on it. I can't get that through there. And so it kind of grabs, for heaven's sakes. Oh, that's why there's a little bit of leather sticking there. I was like, why is that not going in there? So, yeah, I've been a little bit emotional the last week with everything that happened, and so I'm very easily set off with, oh, that didn't work, Kelly. Come on, think here a bit. I've been very easily set off by anything that I see or hear right now. It's crazy, you know. Life is a tough thing sometimes, isn't it? Oh, you like this camera angle? Oh, good. Good, I'm glad, because, you know, I never know how it's going to look. Because it's hard for me to see. I need to be able to see the comments, and plus, you know, I want you guys to be able to see things too. So it's every week I seem to change it, because every week I forget what I did the week before. Now, how many times did I go through there? 3 or 4? Okay, so there we go. That's what it looks like now. Can you see that? Oh, it's Candy instead of Cindy. Hey, Carla. Yeah, so so we've got that on there, and it seems to be very tight, fairly tight on there. So I'll just tighten these up a little bit just to make sure. I don't want this to wiggle around, and I've got one coming out of the bottom and one coming out of the top, so I need to fix that. So I'm just gonna. So the best way to do this is kind of pull that Irish wax linen off to the side, and then it will go nicely up in that hole. And I just use the smallest hole. Let's see if I can still get one more in there. Yeah, I just use the smallest hole on the punch, and it's plenty fine. I didn't want like some great big huge thing. So Deb, are you going to Bead Fest in Tacoma? I would imagine. I can't make it, unfortunately. I was going, but I have to have some surgery next week. So just a little thing. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. Just a little something that's happened, and so I have to have that done instead. So I won't be able to go this time. Because, no, I wish I was. I was planning on going, but then, things happen. Okay, so I've got these coming out like that, so let's just play and see what happens. So I was thinking, let's do a little knot. Get that one out of the way. So get a nice big knot there. I'll do another one. Now, if you wanted to, you could do the knots on the other side, but honestly, you can't even see those knots. Like, so I didn't want anything poking into me on that side. So I thought maybe if I just did a knot on top, and then what I thought I could do is embellish it by putting a little size 8 seed bead on there and tying a little knot and making like a little decorative thing. So let's see how that looks. If I don't like it, I can cut it off. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I'm going to trim that off, but just put a little decorative thing on there. So if that's not your thing, you can always, like I said, tie it off underneath, or you can't even see the knot. I tied that really, really snug. So you could just tie it off really tight, and then I would take a little dab of GS Hypo and put it on top of the knot just so it doesn't come apart, especially something like this where leather bracelets tend to get worn heavily. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's kind of cute. So I think what I will do is a double knot, though, because I don't want that seed bead to pop over the top of that knot. So I'm just I should have had a pair of tweezers, but I'm going to try and just kind of do this in my hand. There we go. So that just creates a little bit bigger knot there. Oh, that'd be nice if you could run into Kate. I took one of her classes there last year, Deb. This really cool ring that we did, and I really liked it. It was fun. So, oops, well, that one didn't end up where I wanted it to. That's how it goes sometimes. Let me try one more on there. I'll try, and it'll be a triple knotter. That's why it would help to have my tweezers, but I didn't even know what I was going to do. I just sometimes I just make this up as I go along. All right, well, I don't like that too much, but that's all right. I'm just going to trim this off. Yeah, look at that. That's kind of cute. It just adds another little bit of texture. So I'll do that on the other side. Yeah, that's really cute, if I do say so myself. I guess you gotta like what you make, right? Oh, they are really expensive. I took the ring one last year. I think it was like $125, and it was, for me, that's really tough because it's $125 US, which is kind of crazy. So I find that their classes are just way too much, way too much. I don't know how they can charge that, because there's a bit of a cap to what people are going to pay, and I know that they've got to pay for all their stuff and everything, but like our classes are $30 or $20. And honestly, I feel like you're getting just as much value at some of our classes, at most of our classes. And to charge $20 or $30, like our Kumihimo class we had on the weekend was, I think it was $30. And I have an outside teacher that comes in. So I don't know. I just think that sometimes some of those things are a little, just they need to get a grip on it, and they'd have a better attendance. I think they'd actually sell out a lot of classes if they adjusted their prices a little bit, you know. Do you guys feel the same way? So I think their classes do include some of the prices or the product. Are there there's no shows there at all, Cindy, in Georgia? I mean, we've got nothing here in Vancouver either. Not a thing. We used to, but we don't have anything any longer. The closest one for us now is the Bead Fest in Tacoma, which is still a 3-hour drive for me. So I don't mind driving 3 hours, but it just, I don't know. I just can't go because I don't think I'll be able to walk the next day. So there's no point in me getting all excited about going when I don't think I can make it worth walking. Now, I'm trying to do this sort of quickly, but I'm not happy with my knots on the other side of those things. So I would probably take a pair of tweezers and do a little nicer job than I'm doing, but
yeah, I've never done it.
Oh, you have to bring some tools, right? And that's okay when you're local, but like when I used to fly to Milwaukee and go to the bead and button shows, I couldn't always take all my tools. I did one time, and you would have thought that I was taking a nuclear weapon on board. Good Lord. And I didn't even take them on the plane. I took them, they were in my luggage, but oh gosh, they, blurted out supervisor, code something or other. It was hilarious. I was like, oh my gosh, come on, and I was trying to explain to them what the tools were, and they're like, stand away from the suitcase, ma'am. Like, oh my God, you guys are crazy. I'm an old lady. I'm a red-headed old lady. Give me a break. Well, now I'm blonde, but okay. So there we go. So that looks cute. Can you guys see that now? It just kind of adds a little extra something on there. Yeah, 20 minutes. That's kind of nice for you. Oh, maybe I should, maybe you guys should put together something down there, and I'll come and teach some stuff because I know lots of techniques. Okay, so I thought, seeing how we'll have this going around our wrist. Now, if this isn't, I want to see how that goes. You could put, I think what I'm going to go get is my bracelet. Actually, Mars, do you know what my bracelet bending pliers look like? They're up in the top there. I think they should say, I think it's the first one on the left. They're purple. Yeah. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
There you go.
Awesome, thank you. So this is going to add just an extra little curve on it, because this does have a curve, but it doesn't look like it's enough. So all I'm going to do is just, you place that on like that and give it a little smush. That's a little better. Because our wrists are actually oval, they're not round. But this does help just a bit. So you can see all I'm doing is just putting it in and giving a little push, and now that's really formed on there. That's nice, much better. Because it looked like it was pretty good, but now, yeah, now that sits on there way better. I really like how that's looking. So you guys are talking a lot today. I can't see what anybody's saying. Well, Julie, maybe I'll have to come down there. Yeah, you never know. Okay, so I thought now on this end, I would punch a hole and just dangle some stuff, because this is going to be underneath your wrist, and I always like to have something dangling. And I forgot one more thing that I was going to dangle. Oh, goodness. All right, hang on one sec. I'm going to go run and grab it because I want to have this. Talk amongst yourself. I'll be right back.
My old bee is not working. It was weedy things they put the dogs on. Yeah. Or actually, try it.
My surgeon would not be happy right now. All right, I'm back. Did you miss me? Okay. All right, I wanted to put a little tassel because I like tassels on everything. That's kind of my go-to, but it may not work. Okay, so this is going to be underneath, but I thought I'd just punch a hole right around here somewhere and just dangle some stuff from it. As you know, you can never have enough stuff, right? Okay, I was going to do a chain tassel and that didn't happen. I always have all these great ideas, but some days the things just get away from me. Okay, so I've got a nice big jump ring that I'm going to hang through there because we need to put a jump ring through first, I believe. Would probably be a good idea. Oh, Cindy, you've never tried bead weaving? Oh, you should try. If anybody knows me from years ago, I was the person that said, I am never going to bead weave. And now I bead weave all the time. I didn't even like seed beads. Hardly even bought any for the store because I just didn't want to be bothered. So this is going to kind of hang off the side, you know, and I'm just going to hang things from it because it doesn't have to be, you know, perfectly symmetrical. So yeah, bead weaving is, I actually find it's really cathartic. It's one of those sort of Zen things for me because I'm not very Zen-like. So for me, it's great. Okay, and I have one of Tierra Cast's really lovely little Tree of Life charms, so I'm going to hang that from there. And I thought I had some small jump rings. Where did they go? Okay, are they not on here? I could have sworn that I brought some over here. Well, I don't have any. Or did they get covered up? And I'm not getting up one more time. So we're just going to hang it with one of these big ones. That'll just have to be what it's going to be today. Because I could have sworn I had them in my hand, and I guess I forgot them or something. Okay, so I'm just going to hang that off of the jump ring. So these are going to hang underneath. So when you put it on, it'll just dangle from underneath. Okay, so just going to, got my little charm on there. You're too scared, Cindy? Just give it a try. It's too bad that you're not local here because these earrings that I'm wearing, I'm actually going to teach a little refresher class tomorrow. Just I've got somebody who couldn't take the class, or we actually had to cancel the class or something. I don't even remember what happened. So I'm going to do these ones tomorrow here at 11 o'clock. Are they cute? And they're so simple, and they're just bead weaving. They're with pit beads and 11s and 8s and some fire polish. So nice and easy. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a little bead and put it on a head pin. And then I thought I would just add one of my little seed beads. I'm just making another little dangle. So I'm just going to do a little messy wrap. So bend away. And do my little loop here. All right, and then I'm just going to wrap this around a couple times. This is all pretty simple stuff. Yeah, the pips are kind of fun to work with, and this was a great little project. And I've got to put it on Facebook for anybody local or anybody that wants to drive up from Seattle tomorrow and be here by 11. You can come and take the class tomorrow, and I won't even charge you for the class. You just have to buy the materials. So, and they're cute little earrings. I'll show them again, but I gave a pair to my daughter, I think it was. Yeah, my daughter and one of my granddaughters. And so then my ex-husband's wife, she wants a pair. My daughter's mother-in-law, she wants a pair. And my daughter said that everybody at her work, she works at a local bank, she said everybody wants them there. So I'm like, wow, who knew that everybody thought those cute little flower earrings would be so popular. All right, I think I'll put these on with jump rings. If I don't like this, I can always change that out, but I'm just going to hang them with jump rings for now and see how this is going to go. Okay, so there we go. Just a couple little dangly things. And then Yeah, I think I'm going to add this because I like to put a little bit of a tassel. Now, I do think this tassel is a little too long, so honestly, I would trim it a bit, but I forgot my scissors. So I will trim it after the fact, maybe a little bit, or maybe not. I've actually worn some with great big long tassels like this. Let's see, maybe I'll put that on the other side of that. I just like something when I'm wearing my jewelry, I like to have something dangling from it. So I don't want just something on the top. There we go. Do I like that on there? Yeah, it's kind of fun. So that just adds, let's see if you can see it that way. Just adds a few little dingle dangles on there. So yeah, you probably would need to update your passport unless you drive, and then you could just get an enhanced driver's license if you have that. So okay, so there you go. I can't put it on because oh, I can see what I'm going to have to do. So if this is hanging underneath this way, yeah, so that's going to hang that way. Actually, that looks kind of cute, having a little cluster like that. So I can't put it on because it doesn't fit my wrist, but basically this is what it's going to look like. So it'll go around like that. I'll just do it up and then show you what it would look like if it was actually on a wrist. This one's cute because it's got like a little belt buckle, which is kind of fun. And if it's too long for you, you can actually trim it. Let's see. Just trying to get these to... There we go. Okay. So when there's a will, there's a way. So that's what it would look like on top of your wrist. And then you would have this little bit hanging down the back side. Fun, huh? So I think that's kind of cute. I think it'll look better once it's on. It's just kind of hard. But I think that looks kind of cute on there. So there we go. So that's a kind of a fun little project for you. When there's a will, there's a way. I like that. That's kind of a good motto for me right now. Right? All right. Hey, Sherry. How you doing today? Brenda. Okay, so here's the earrings that I'm going to make tomorrow. So if you're local, be here by about 10:30 so you can pick out your supplies and you can come and take this class for free tomorrow. They're just a cute little earring made with the pip beads, and they're easy and fun, really, really sweet. And they come together really fast, and even if you've never done any kind of bead weaving, they're still super, super simple to do. Thanks, Sherry. I just got it colored because I was feeling so blue that I went onto my hairdresser and said, okay, fix this. Make me feel happy again, so a little blonder. Oh, you want to learn how to, oh, you're going to do it from the class today, from this today, or for the earrings, Joanne? All right, so that's about it. I think that's kind of fun. You might have to play around, if you're making something like this, to decide where you want to put that. I was just kind of doing it quickly, but you might have to, measure around on your wrist to make sure that that's going to sit where you want it to. But, just play around with things. That's the nice thing about making your own jewelry, right? So, yeah, please do, Sherry. Come on in and see the new store. It's great. We're really enjoying it. It's really, really nice. So much nicer to have a lot of room and everything. So, I was going to tell you guys, I was thinking this morning about Wednesdays are one of my favorite days, and for two reasons. I know it's going to sound kind of funny, but one of the reasons is because I get to do the video, and it's always, sort of, sometimes it can be hard because I have to get creative all of a sudden and try and figure out what I'm going to do. But also, Wednesday is usually when all of my favorite people start doing all their shows, right? So usually on Wednesday night, I just go home and turn on my iPad and plug in and listen to all the shows that have been on all day long. But Wednesday is also, it's one of those silly things, but it's the day that I get kind of like jazzed up because my favorite all-time person ever, and has nothing to do with jewelry, is, her name's Dominique Sacchi, and she is a Houston anchor on the news. And she has a YouTube channel, and she puts out a new video every Thursday morning, or usually comes around Thursday afternoon. So on Wednesday, I'm already getting excited because I always want to know what she's going to do. She's 50 years old, so she's more my, demographic than a lot of these young little 18-year-olds that are plastering makeup and doing all these crazy things. So, but she's beautiful. She's very poised, and she has the best posture. And she's articulate and smart, and she does hair tutorials and makeup tutorials, And she talks about, you know, all sorts of things. Like last week were her 10 reasons why she doesn't worry anymore now that she's in her 50s. And so it gives you things to ponder. She'll talk about, you know, books that she's read or her favorite new makeup techniques, and she'll do these beautiful, like the way she does her makeup is crazy. I could never wear that much makeup, but I love watching her. So if you're looking for something that's not jewelry related, and maybe like she, you know, something just completely different, her name's Dominique Sachse. So it's Sachse, I believe, and it's on YouTube. And she's just lovely. She's very different she's the polar opposite kind of person that I am, because she's in the news. You know, she's very poised and very sort of almost perfect. But there's just something about her that makes me smile, and she makes my heart really full. After I listen to her, I feel very full of all sorts of things. She's a very inspiring person. So if you want to watch somebody that has nothing to do with jewelry, watch Dominique. I subscribe to her YouTube channel. She does giveaways and all kinds of stuff. You never know what she's going to talk about. It could be about fall, like she's really into fashion, and she's got like a hot body. I hate her. Sometimes she'll be doing like exercising ones. I don't watch those ones. Like I just can't be bothered. And the fashion thing isn't really my thing, but I do like to keep up on what's current. So, you know, looking for something different, watch Dominique. You might kind of like her. She's got a hot husband and they're rich. I mean, she's got a horrible life, right? Whatever. But it's kind of fun to live vicariously through somebody else once in a while too. So, alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for watching. That was a kind of a quick one today. We don't have any of these parts on the website except for the paint. That's the only thing that's on there, and the charm. But if you want one of the bracelets, they're $10.99. Or if you want one of the little when there's a will, there's a way. There's 3 different colors. They're only $1. Just let me know, and I can always put together a little kit for you. And these come in the dark chocolate and also in the black. Okay. Yeah, Julie, check her out. Just something different, you know, like sometimes somebody will resonate with you and other times they don't. So it's always kind of fun just to, you know, see what somebody else has to offer out there in this big world wide web, because there's, you know, so many people doing so many great things. But yeah, Wednesday is my favorite day of the week. It's the day when I go home, I pour myself a rum and Coke. I say to my husband, don't bug me. Because I start watching everybody, because there's so many of us that are doing them. So it's kind of fun just to kind of sit back, and I sometimes I'll skim through them, but for the most part I will try and watch when I can. Shauna, no, it doesn't come in different lengths. It's just one length, and it'll go around 3 times. Now, if you're a plus size girl like me, what you could do, see, it's got all these little holes in the back end of it. What you could do is you could cut it and make it a two wrap. So if I wanted to make this for myself, that's likely what I would do. I would just trim off this end that has all the holes and cut it to the length that I need, and then I would add a couple holes for myself. Does that make sense? So then I could still have a wrap bracelet. It would just not be a triple wrap, because see, that just doesn't quite like, I can get it on, but it's like it's a little, and I've got like a true 8. So if you've got about an 8, you could make it a little bit smaller by making it just a double wrap instead of a triple wrap, but you can't really adjust the size any bigger. I was trying to think of a way that you could, but my brain cells are not really working that great. So oh, thank you so much. Yeah, there you go, Sean. I mean, that's the nice thing about making jewelry. That's one of the reasons I started, was being a plus size gal. I could never find a bracelet, so make your own. So if you don't want a triple wrap, make it a double wrap. Nobody will know that it wasn't supposed to be that way, right? So, all right, everybody. So thanks for joining me. And again, thank you so much for all your love and everything in the past week. It's meant a lot to me. It's helped me through all of this a little bit. And I'll be back next week, and you never know what kind of things I'll make. So have a great Wednesday, and enjoy watching all your favorite people today, all right? And we'll talk to you soon, okay? Take care. Bye.